Welcome, everyone. This is our first attempt to do what we're calling the Great Good Place News for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. This is Mike. Kathleen is here. Say hello, Kathleen.
Hi, everybody.
So we're experimenting with this as a way to connect with people and give you book recommendations and talk about what we're reading and what news we've got going on. So let's get started here. So the first thing we wanted to talk about is a little bit there's an incredible offer going on right now from Libro FM, our audiobook provider. And as you'll see on the screen, there are a number of books right now that if you purchase these books from Libro at the link that is shown, they will provide 100% of the proceeds from that sale to GGP. It's an incredible, remarkable, generous offer, and it goes until April 10th at midnight. There are no limits on purchasing these books, so if you want to buy a copy of, for example, The Thank You Project, one of the books we're going to talk about a little bit more in detail after, you could give 20 copies of The Thank You Project on audiobook if you'd like, if you were feeling super generous. But all of the revenues from this go to GGP. It's a wonderful way to help us out right now in the situation we're in. So let's jump into now a little bit about the Thank You Project. Kathleen, do you want to tell people about the Thank You Project?
Sure. I've known Nancy Davis Kho for many, many years, and this book is pure Nancy. It's funny, it's in-depth, it's profound. I can't tell you how much I recommend this for everybody, especially in the age we're living in. We just have to reach out once in a while and say thank you. And Nancy makes it fun, and she also has a playlist for every chapter. So for those of you who are music nuts, it's perfect. And I need to tell you that Nancy's probably one of the most generous and kind people I know. And this is incredibly, incredibly kind of her to do this for independent booksellers across the country. She and 9 other authors are giving up all of their royalties so that we can get 100% of the proceeds during this time. So supporting GGP is good, but supporting Nancy is just as wonderful because she deserves it.
And in other news, we're going to try to tomorrow have Nancy Davis Kho join us live and talk a little bit more about her book. So we've got that tentatively scheduled for 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I hope you can join us or take a look at a recording of that. Why don't we move to the next book? We've got 2 different recommendations from you, Kathleen, of books that are good for this time of sheltering at home. And the first one we have up is A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Oh my God, I loved this book. It's fun. It's light. It's about a young woman who discovers on the eve of her in my opinion, she's young, the eve of her 34th birthday, that she's living under a curse. And it goes back 4 lifetimes. And the author takes you through Paris in the 1890s, Hollywood at its golden age in the 1930s, the Laurel Canyon rock scene in the 70s, and Washington, D.C. in the 2012. And Helen has to figure out a way to break the curse. And not only that, she's had 2 men following her through this time. She's had Luke, and she's had Marchette, who is the painter from the first lifetime. And it was her mother who was a witch who put the curse on her. And with each lifetime, her powers get stronger. So it's just a really fun read. It helped me totally escape. I was so sad when I read the last page. And it has a hell of a doozy as for an ending.
Great. And for people who don't know, right now our physical store is closed, but we're shipping directly from our warehouse. So if you go to ggpbooks.com, you'll actually see a picture of this book in one of the recommendations up at the top. And you can click through and order it from our website, and we'll have it shipped to you from our warehouse. The other ways that you can get books right now are audiobooks from Libro FM, who we just spoke about, and we also have books available on the Kobo e-reader platform, which is kind of like the Kindle platform, but it supports a really good bookstore rather than that thing up in Seattle. Why don't we move to the next one here, and the next recommendation Kathleen has for us is the Roxie Letters by Mary Pauline Lowry. Kathleen,
hi. This is written by a fellow bookseller who worked at the big bookstore in Austin, Texas. I'm drawing a blank right now, but she's been in the book business for years. And this is about I don't know, how many of you read Bridget Jones' Diary? It was really fun. And this is, I call it Bridget Jones for the millennial. It's about a young woman who's stuck in a go-nowhere job working at Whole Foods in the meat counter. And she's bought a house, and she lives right next to a bunch of crackheads who keep her up all night. So each night she writes a letter to her ex-boyfriend telling him how she's going to change her life. And of course, everything implodes. And she has interesting ways to get out of it. There's an incredible cast of characters that are laugh out loud funny. She lets you into that whole indie scene in Austin, which is really quirky and fun. I don't know if you know the saying for Austin, it's let's keep Austin weird. So a lot of really strange people they live in this book. And it's truly one that you can just blank out of everything that's going on around you and laugh out loud because she is so funny.
Nice. So that's the Roxie Letters by Mary Pauline Lowry. Again, you can find a link to it on the front page of our website, or just use our search function, and that too is available in digital audiobook and Kobo ebook too, if you want those immediately. Let's move on to just talking a little bit about our ongoing series about our virtual book chats. Speaking of witches, on Friday evening, we are going to be talking about Circe by Madeline Miller. That's Friday night at 7 p.m. on Zoom. You can find the details in our Facebook events and on ggpbooks.com in the events page there as well. We are typically doing these every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. during our shelter-at-home time. We'll see what our schedule is going to be when we get back to normal. But these have been really fun. So far we have done Tom Hanks' The Dutch House, and Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and both of those discussions were really fun. And then you also see we've got On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous coming up, and Girl, Woman, Other coming up. Again, in these we're playing a little bit of the audiobook samples, so you get a taste of what that's like. And we've just had really nice discussions. I think in our first session we might have had about 8 or 9 people, and I think we were up to about 20 on our second session, so we're hoping to break that record with Circe here. Kathleen, what are you thinking of Circe so far?
Oh, I love it. It really takes you away. I am listening to it, which Mike can attest. I was not a listener before this shut down, but it's really nice. I don't know. I was a complete mythology freak when I was a kid. You can ask my sisters. I named all my hamsters after the Greek goddess and gods.
That's pretty serious.
I was pretty serious. And it's so fun to see them become a little more human. And kind of, you're getting to meet them all on a different level, which is And the reader for Cersei is wonderful. She's got this kind of British inflection, but not quite an accent. But I am enjoying it thoroughly, and I actually need to get back to it soon. So it has been quite, I can say that for me, I live alone. So sometimes having that on in the background has made me feel like someone's in the house reading to me. And I'm really enjoying that right now. So I do recommend any audiobook that you can get your hands on right now. It's just really nice. It's a diversion from the news. I may become a total convert when this is over because I'm enjoying it so much. But I totally recommend it. The people who come to these meetings are so much fun. I have to say, I do think we have the world's best customers. And our book club folks are just absolutely splendid. So I highly recommend joining us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Cersei. I'm listening to it for the second time. I have been an audiobook convert for a while. I love this narrator who's doing Cersei, and just the stories are just really incredible. I just finished the section where Cersei meets Odysseus on her island, and Odysseus avoids the fate everybody else has ended up with of being turned into swine. So it's a really cool, interesting book. She really brings the stories to life. And Kathleen, remember next Wednesday, you got to be ready for On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. So get back to your audiobooks here. Last thing here, I mentioned that we had done the Dutch House as one of our recent talks. In our next session tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit more about the Dutch House, and we'll play a little bit of a sample from the audiobook and chat a little bit. And again, like I mentioned, we hope to have Nancy Davis Kho with us tomorrow to discuss her book, The Thank You Project, and the incredible offer that's going on from Libro now to provide 100% of the proceeds from this and certain other select books before April 10th at midnight. So we'd really appreciate it if you take advantage of that offer and tune in tomorrow. Kathleen, do you have any final words before we say goodbye on this, our inaugural Great Good News?
Yeah, I really just want to thank you guys for all your support. It's been mind-blowing, and it's kept me quite busy. So thank you. And I can't wait to see you all when this is over.
All right. Bye, everybody. Say goodbye to Kathleen.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.